Revelation chapter 11, verse 1, and there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Rise, and this is to John, rise and measure the temple of God. And this is talking about the third temple, which is about to be built. The Jews want to build it so bad, and this lets us know that we are definitely living in the last days because Israel wants to construct the third temple. So he's told, measure the temple of God, the altar, and them that worship therein. Verse 2, but the court, which is without the temple or outside the temple, leave out and measure it not. Don't measure the court which is outside, for it is given unto the Gentiles. And if you look at this picture, someone superimposed the third temple right here and put it right next to the Dome of the Rock. And I believe that this is what's happening, that God is letting us know that this is what's going to happen. Outside here is going to belong to the Gentiles because of the fact that there's going to be this Dome of the Rock. Okay, and then it says, in the holy city shall they tread underfoot 42 months, for 42 months. And that's talking about the last 3.5 years of the 7-year Great Tribulation, because the Gentiles will take over Israel the last 42 months. When the Antichrist comes and takes over at the middle of the Great Tribulation, after that he'll have 42 months, and that's when the Gentiles will take over the whole holy city of Israel. Verse 3, and I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy, and they will prophesy. In fact, I believe they're going to prophesy the first 4 trumpets. They'll prophesy 1,260 days, which is equal to 1,260 days, which is equal to 3.5 years, and which will be the first 3.5 years of the 7-year Great Tribulation. And every year would have 12 months of 30 days. Okay, clothed in sackcloth. They're clothed in sackcloth, the 2 witnesses, which I believe to be Elijah and Moses. They're not clothed in white, because we will be in heaven raptured with a white clothing, which has been washed in the blood of the Lamb, because that represents our body. That's our physical body. But we can no longer die. They are going to die, so they are clothed in sackcloth, okay? Not in white, until they're taken to heaven. These are the 2 olive trees. These are the 2 olive trees. And the 2 candlesticks standing before the God of the earth. Now if you go to Zechariah 4:11, you read about them, and he's saying, Then answered I and said unto him, What are these 2 olive trees upon the right side of the candlestick, and upon the left side thereof? And I answered again and said unto him, What be these 2 olive branches, which through the 2 golden pipes empty the golden oil out of themselves? And he answered me and said, Knowest thou not what this be? And I said, No, my Lord. Then said he, These are the 2 anointed ones that stand by the Lord of the whole earth. So this is obviously the same 2 witnesses that are here in verse 4. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the God of the earth, just like it says in Zechariah. Okay. Now we continue to verse 5. And if any man will hurt them, because people will hurt them, they won't kill them, but they'll hurt them. Fire proceedeth out of their mouth, and I believe that to be literal, and devoureth their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. They will kill their enemies, literally. These have power to shut heaven, or the sky, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy. This reminds us of Elijah, who made it the rain stop for 3.5 years, and have power over the waters to turn them to blood. This reminds us of Moses, who turned the waters into blood with the 10 plagues, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will, and they will. Verse 7, and when they shall have finished their testimony, 1,260 days later, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. See, they are going to be killed. Who are we talking about? We're talking about the Antichrist. He will kill them. It is the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit. And if you go to Revelation chapter 7 verse 8, it says, the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition. This is talking about the Antichrist. And this is what will happen to that beast. The beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire, burning with brimstone. So we see that the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit is the Antichrist. Shall make war against them and overcome them and kill them. Okay. Verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. And where is this place? Where also our Lord was crucified. So where Jesus was crucified in Judah, in Israel, in Jerusalem, okay, that's where their bodies will be, okay. And verse 9, and they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see, literally see, their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put into graves. So they're not going to put them in graves, trying to insult them, I believe. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry and send gifts to one another, because these two prophets tormented, and they literally will torment them that dwell on the earth. That's why they're going to be so happy that they were killed. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from God entered into them. They stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Verse 12, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. Just like John heard, and we will hear when the rapture happens. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud. That's where we're going to meet Jesus, in a cloud. And their enemies beheld them. And here's a picture of the two witnesses. And this is what's going to happen. They're going to ascend into heaven. God bless you.